6:55. A reminder, the news doesn't end here. Here's what's coming up at 7 a.m. streaming on WCNC Plus.
The man accused of the murder of Alicia Watts in court today. What could happen? We'll have the details coming up.
A chaotic gathering Saturday night at Birkdale Village caught on video has prompted a new minor curfew. Coming up, what's changing and how Huntersville police will enforce the rules.
Our winter's been hiding an extreme and historic drought in the Charlotte area. We'll raise your weather IQ on what it means for you.
And we're live in Milan with just 4 days to go in the Winter Games.
We'll meet members of Team USA hoping to close that medal gap. Those stories and much more live, local, and breaking news coming up at 7 a.m. on WCNC Plus.
Well, here's something to know before you go. If you take Independence inbound, we do have a slowdown. It's going to delay you about 5 to 10 minutes at this point. This is exactly where it is. We just had this crash on Independence inbound at Charlottetown Ave. 243 is where that backup is. Otherwise, slow-moving traffic. I-77 inbound out near Gilead as well. Chris.
All right, let's get right to it. The beginning is here. We have 68 degrees, overall an overcast day. It's going to be windy, though. And then temperatures into the 70s tomorrow. Slight chance for rain, even a chance for a morning thunderstorm on Friday. But look at that, near 80 degrees. And the rest we'll talk about later.
All right, we're focusing on the 70s. That's all we're doing.
That's all that matters to us right now.
All right, folks, make sure you join us streaming live on WCNC Plus starting at 7 a.m.
streaming live right now at 7 a.m. right here on WCNC Plus. I'm Ben Thompson.
And I'm Lisa Washington. We start things off with a check of your forecast on this Wednesday. Chris is standing by and says we are on the way up as far as our temperatures are concerned.
Yeah, I'm super excited that we have the mid to the upper 60s, so kind of similar to what we've been the last couple of days. But even today, where clouds are going to be the dominant feature, so I have been saying it's not going to be gloom and doom cloudy like what we had last Sunday, but instead you're going to see a little glimpse of sunshine here and there. But it's 15 degrees warmer than 24 hours ago. So yeah, temperatures already on the rise, at least for our lows. 54 eventually gets into the mid 60s by about 1 p.m. And it's the strong winds out of the southwest that's going to be cranking us pretty close to 70 degrees. We have the upper 60s. Current temperatures right now, 52 around Hickory, 44 around Morganton. This is great. Hickory, you had a low of 51 and then 50 degrees for you in Rock Hill. Likely those are going to be our lows for the morning, but we have not yet reached our sunrise time, so still things could change over the next, I would say, 15 to 20 minutes. 68 degrees for a high today. I think some pop into the 70s down towards the south. All in all, going to be a mostly cloudy to an overcast one, but the bottom line, it's going to be a windy day. We have strong wind gusts of 25 to 30 miles per hour, large branches in motion. Luckily, it's not raining, or else they wouldn't be good for umbrellas in this range. And those wind gusts, I think, are going to be highest today, but still breezy over the coming days. We're in what's called the warm sector, and that's why we are warmer with that stronger wind out of the southwest. Now, if you can get sunshine and a push out of the southwest, that is the best way to maximize a high temperature, and it's also a recipe for record-breaking temperatures. And yes, that is exactly what we could see on Friday. Friday, once you get day 3 of warming with a better aid of some sunshine underneath the umbrella of that warm front, we are looking good. But Friday does have a chance of a scattered rain, and it's more likely Friday night heading into Saturday. But Friday is interesting because check this out. I think we see some sunshine for your Thursday afternoon. Now, clouds still the dominant feature across all skies. Plain and simple. I just think that we're going to see some more clearing than what otherwise we were indicating. But watch Friday morning. See this? This little ribbon right here? That could actually have some sound. I'm talking about thunder. We have a chance for some morning thunderstorms, believe it or not. Nothing severe, but still, hearing thunder to start off the morning, you're like, oh, wow, this really is spring. And then check out the afternoon. Temperatures jumping into the upper 70s. That's why I went way above consensus, calling it for 79 today, because I think we will have a challenge to challenge 80 degrees for some. So, yeah. Bottom line, a chance for morning thunderstorms is wild because it could be a record warm start and a record high temperature. So 2 records for the day. Now we get to our main rain chance. And the one iffy thing about this is, does this front remain south? Because as it pushes in, it potentially is going to be widespread rain right along the I-85 corridor as the sun's rising up. But the heaviest rain is down in South Carolina. And behind this system, eventually we're going to have some of that cooler air that joins us. But we also have some indications that we could pop up one more batch of rain on Sunday, and an iffy explanation if this low pressure system comes to fruition off the coast, that even Raleigh could have a brief little wintry mix from this guy. But as of right now, looks to be mainly just a second coming of rain, and then we'll dry out heading into your Sunday and Monday. But then bottom line, we are getting cold after this. When you go from 80 degrees back to the 40s, that's kind of mean, but 'tis the season. We'll have high temperatures closing in on 50 degrees on Tuesday, but starting on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday morning will all be sub-freezing. So enjoy the warmth while we have it, for winter makes its return. Our first look at our morning commute here on WCNC Plus, and Majestic, how's it looking?
Good morning, everyone. Well, things are still busy out there. A handful of ongoing concerns as you're heading out the door this morning. This is going to be problematic if you take Independence inbound. We have stop-and-go traffic because of an accident that's close to 277, just happening about 20 minutes ago. It's right there on Charlottetown Ave, exit 243, so I would allow for extra drive time if you take Independence inbound. Slow ramp traffic from I-85 to I-77, specifically exit 38. We're pretty used to that this time of the day, though. And then I-77, if you're coming in from areas out towards Lake Norman, we just have reports of a new crash, Samford Road, right there at exit 25. We are seeing impacts, though, all the way up to exit 28. And then this here is well south of Uptown. It's on McKee Road. Northbound lanes being impacted at Davis Drive because of an incident there. And then I-85, if you're out there in Gaston County, good morning to you. No accidents, but those delays are starting to build as people are heading towards Charlotte. I-77, this is a live camera look coming in near Gilead. You can see cars are lining up, all heading towards Uptown. It's going to be slow moving, so make sure you're ready for it. Ben.
All right, Majestic, thanks. Starting in Rock Hill right now, where police are investigating a shooting on Frank Street. It happened around 9 last night. Police say there's no threat to the public right now, but didn't share many other details. We'll let you know as soon as we learn more information. Also right now, we're working to learn more about a deadly crash in York County. It happened just before 6 last night along Reservation Road. Highway Patrol tells us a pickup truck hit a person who was walking in the road. No word yet on who the victim is or if any charges will be filed.
In just a few hours, a Charlotte man accused of killing his girlfriend will once again face a judge. James Dunmore is charged with murdering Alicia Watts in 2023. WCNC Charlotte's Richard Devane is live this morning in Charlotte, where Watts was last seen. So for Richard, for those who aren't familiar with this case or may not remember it, bring us up to speed.
Yeah, absolutely, Lisa. Good morning to you. Good morning, Ben. A good Wednesday morning, folks on the Plus. Basically, this is a case where a woman who lived in Montgomery County actually came to Charlotte to visit her boyfriend. They were supposed to come to this area for a comedy show. That's the last time anyone ever saw Alicia Watts alive. Now, today, James Dunmore is scheduled to appear in court nearly 2 years after he was arrested in connection with the death of Miss Watts. Dunmore was charged with murder in 2023 after his girlfriend, Alicia Watts, disappeared following that trip to Charlotte. Dunmore found unresponsive by a police officer he was in Watts' Mercedes-Benz. That was 2 days after she was first reported missing. That was outside in Anson County, DMV. Investigators say it appeared that he was the victim of an attempted suicide. Authorities later discovered Watts' remains near a cemetery in a rural area of Montgomery County, which led to his arrest. Since then, Dunmore has remained in custody on $1 million bond as the case has moved through several delays and pretrial hearings. Today's court appearance is expected to focus on procedural matters as both the prosecution and defense continue to prepare for a possible trial. This as those who knew and loved Alicia Watts wait for justice.
She gave like I've never seen anyone give back to the community, to the church, to her family. She was a giver at heart.
What she brought was unity, and I'm just grateful to have known her.
Justice is keeping Alicia's memory alive, so that other women who find themselves in relationships like the one that she was in that ultimately cost her life doesn't cost another life.
And again, those court proceedings will take place this afternoon. We will be in court and we'll have complete updates of what happens both on all of our social platforms as well as in our mobile app. We're right here in Charlotte. This is Richard Devane. We'll send it back to you.
Richard, thanks. A man accused of a 2020 Northwest Charlotte homicide will spend the rest of his life in prison. Tuesday, a jury found 33-year-old Antonio Rollins guilty of murder. Authorities say Rollins shot DeMarcus Mack, then carried him into a hospital and left him there. Mack died the following day. North Carolina Congresswoman Alma Adams is calling maternal health a national crisis, highlighting the high rates of preventable deaths among mothers, particularly Black women. For mothers like Lakeisha Stanley, pregnancy was a high-risk and emotional journey. She explains why support and funding are crucial.
I don't want to have another child because I know I'm a high risk. I am a high-risk pregnancy.
We still have a crisis. Black women are dying 3 and 4 times the rate of white women. That should not be.
Congresswoman Adams and fellow legislators are pushing the Momnibus bill. That's a package of bills that would fund community programs and healthcare providers who are working to improve maternal outcomes. It's a move advocates say could save countless lives.
Reflections continue to pour in after the death of Reverend Jesse Jackson. Got video of folks leaving flowers and other tokens of appreciation at his home in Chicago. For decades, Jackson was a powerful voice for justice, working alongside Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. We heard from political leaders, including North Carolina Governor Josh Stein, about the impact the legendary civil rights leader had on him.
Like so many other Americans, he touched me. He inspired me. He motivated me to want to try to find my place and my way to make this a better country. I think America lost a great one, and may his memory be a blessing.
Charlotte City Councilman Malcolm Graham also joined us here on WCNC Plus and discussed what Reverend Jackson meant to him and the African American community.
He was personable, he was sharp, he was candid, he was an amazing speaker. He is history, right, for our country and certainly for the African American community. I'm going to miss my friend, my mentor, and someone who has an amazing impact on this country and this world.
For more unfiltered, in-depth conversations just like that one, keep it right here on WCNC Plus. Stream all day.
U.S. officials reporting progress in nuclear talks with Iran, how both sides are navigating a path toward an agreement.
Approaching 7:13 right now here on WCNC Plus. U.S. officials say progress being made after another round of nuclear talks with Iran. Meanwhile, today marks day 2 of talks to end the Russia-Ukraine war. As NBC's Alice Barr reports, territory and who controls it remains a major sticking point.
Negotiators back at the table for a second day of talks between Russia and Ukraine. U.S. Special Envoy Steve Witkoff writing day 1 of U.S. mediated discussions yielded meaningful progress toward a peace deal, 1 week before the 4-year mark of Russia's full-scale invasion. Ahead of the talks, President Trump urged Ukraine to compromise.
Ukraine better come to the table fast.
While a pair of Democratic senators traveled to Kyiv pressing for ironclad security guarantees against future Russian attacks.
Ukraine needs and deserves a guarantee from the United States, not just European powers.
Witkoff and the president's son-in-law, Jared Kushner, also joining negotiations Tuesday on a deal to curb Iran's nuclear program. The top Iranian diplomat citing good progress on the path toward an agreement, but cautioning they will not reach it quickly, while Vice President J.D. Vance pointed to roadblocks.
The president has set some red lines that the Iranians are not yet willing to actually acknowledge and work through. So we're going to keep on working it.
President Trump has signaled military action is an option if there's no deal to guarantee Iran won't get a nuclear weapon. The president ordered a second U.S. aircraft carrier to the region before the negotiations and suggested regime change might be the best thing that could happen. Iran has threatened retaliation for any attack, and the supreme leader now says any attempt to take down his government would fail. Back on Ukraine, territory and security guarantees remain the central sticking points. And over the weekend, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky said he felt his country was under pressure to compromise in ways that he did not see publicly exerted against Russia. In Washington, Alice Barr, NBC News.
Cuba is facing a worsening fuel shortage that has brought much of the island's economy to a standstill. The crisis stems largely from U.S. policies that have restricted oil shipments to the island, cutting off a critical supply line. Once reliable jobs tied to tourism, like those classic car tours, have dried up as drivers struggle to find gas. Public transportation is faltering, food prices are soaring, and many businesses can no longer operate. With no clear solution in sight, Cubans say daily life has become defined by uncertainty. Peru's Congress voted Tuesday to censure President Jose Jerry, meaning he is removed from office. The 39-year-old right-wing leader stands accused in a scandal over alleged undisclosed meetings with Chinese business people. That action by Peru's Congress comes only 4 months after Jerry took office as interim president. His successor will be the South American nation's 8th president in nearly a decade. Jerry is now the 3rd consecutive Peruvian leader to be removed from office.
Japanese Prime Minister Sanae Takaichi has been reappointed to form her 2nd cabinet after a decisive election. She is expected to push ahead with a more conservative policy agenda. Her priorities include strengthening Japan's military, tightening immigration rules, and promoting traditional social policies. Takaichi also faces immediate pressure to address rising prices. Her new term sets the stage for significant political and economic shifts there in Japan.
Coming up, we're going to talk a little bit more about winds. Winds out of the southwest maximize our warm-up. Well, we're staying there for multiple days. We'll talk about the winds, what they're actually going to look like today, and when the winds have changed, blowing that colder air. Let's talk winds. Sorry, I had to do my wind impersonation, but I just blew out the mic. That didn't work out well. 22 mile per hour gusts is what we've reached so far. 23 around the Concord area, and even a gust of 31 around Greensboro. I think these are going to be minimal compared to what we could see a little bit later on. Not the windiest day we've ever seen, but ones that could, if you don't have enough in the trash can, that could blow it over. I personally put my trash can out last night, and the one with the recycling doesn't have a lot in it right now. That could topple over with wind gusts potentially almost doubling this, not quite. I think the highest one we see is about 35 miles per hour, and that's going to be really rocking. I think once you get to the early afternoon at its highest potential, that's where we see gusts anywhere from 25 to 35 miles per hour. They start to come down a little bit by the end of the afternoon, but all in all, it's a noticeable windy Wednesday. So keep that in mind. Strong push out of the southwest, and then eventually Thursday, gusts of 20 to 25, and then heading into your Friday, the morning is windy yet again, so some active wind chimes over the next few days. There's something called the Beaufort wind scale, and it was Sir Francis Beaufort that came up with a scale that really shows what the ocean looks like and what physical objects look like when it's at certain wind ranges. And I love using this because it really paints a better tale for you. And the strong wind gusts that we have today are going to keep those large branches in motion. And sometimes we have those really tall pine trees. The tops can really start to sway a little bit. We're going to have a noticeable windy environment. Luckily, it's a warmer wind, and that's going to get temperatures into the upper 60s. But 'tis the season. You may or may not know that this is actually the windiest time of year, where it's typically March and April that we average in sustained wind at about 8 miles per hour. That's pretty substantial. And that data goes all the way back to 1939. And for February, this is really where we start to ramp things back up, where we actually average over an 8 mile per hour wind by the second half of February. So that's exactly where we're at. So this is actually not too surprising. As far as our pollen forecast is concerned, it is concerningly going up. Now, this isn't something that we shouldn't expect. Last year we started in February, we're doing it again, but we're going to reach our highest levels really, I think, come Friday, and the winds are a big cause of this. And yes, we do have a chance for rain on Thursday, and again, chance for storms on Friday, but I don't think it's going to be enough to really have a big impact. You really kind of need a washout status like what we had this past Sunday, but elm, juniper, and alder are definitely the big three that we have as far as that pollen is concerned. The rain I think we have on Saturday will kick things back down before they again start to ramp back up. So looking at our long range forecast, we will see a significant cool down, which isn't really going to help us out too much as far as the pollen goes, but it will kind of suppress the tree pollen a little bit because the trees start to notice, hey, it's starting to get warmer. Hey, I'm getting more sunshine. That's when they really start to release their pollen and eventually the yellow stuff. But this is going to be a big cool down. We're only going to have highs in the 40s, but no worries. We're back to the 60s before you know it. As far as our lows are concerned, we will have 3 mornings in a row, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, that is freezing before we get back above the norm. So yeah, winter's not done yet. We're going to constantly see these up and downs for the next month or so. All right, Majestic, more icons from the last time I talked to you.
Good morning, everyone. Still busy out there, so let's point out a few of those main accidents that I have my eyes on. This one right here is a new one. You can see we are surrounded by colors, meaning that people will be impacted by this. I-485, it's the inner loop right before I-77. It's backed up to South Boulevard. That's going to be impactful for many. And then this here is on I-85 northbound after Lowell McAdamville. So right around exit 23, we're seeing quite a bit of red there as congestion continues to build. We have our typical traffic and then also looking at the backups because of that accident. Independence inbound hasn't been great this morning. We still have slow moving congestion, but then you can see there's a crash here, Independence inbound at Charlottetown Ave. The last thing I want to point out is that we continue to see slow moving traffic from I-85 to I-77 right around exit 38. Guys.
Majestic, thanks. Today in Black History, we honor the birthday of Toni Morrison, one of the most influential writers of the 20th century. Morrison was the first African-American woman to win the Nobel Prize in Literature, honored for her powerful storytelling and exploration of Black identity in America. Her novels, including Beloved, Song of Solomon, and The Bluest Eye, earned her a Pulitzer Prize and global recognition. Morrison also spent years as an editor and professor, shaping generations of writers. Toni Morrison passed in 2019. Her legacy continues to inspire readers around the world. All right, time for us to take a quick break, but make sure that you keep it right here, streaming live on WCNC Plus.
Wednesday morning, not the prettiest day, but hey, it feels great. We're at 54 degrees right now with no wind chill because we're over 50 degrees. Still a wind at 5 to 10 miles per hour. It could double to triple throughout the day today, but we are 15 degrees warmer than just 24 hours ago. But what you just saw, that cloudy sky that's sticking around most of the day, but so are the wind gusts. Wind gusts could be as strong as 25 to 35 miles per hour, so large branches really in motion. Going forward, though, I think we see a little more sunshine for tomorrow, warmer as well. Temperatures in the lower 70s, and Friday could be a record breaker, and get this, even a chance for a morning thunderstorm. So quick looking at our Jerry Hunt Supercenter 7-day forecast. Enjoy the next 3 days, because after that, we'll have some morning rain Saturday. Much colder heading into next week. All right, let's see what's slowing you down this morning. Majestic.
Good morning, everyone. Let's get to it. Lots going on as you're heading out the door for your Wednesday morning commute. First things first, let's take you out to 485. That's where we are following an ongoing wreck. It's going to be the inner loop right before I-77. It's backed up to South Boulevard. Next up, taking you out to Gaston County, where we're following an accident on I-85. This time, northbound lanes right after Lowell McAdden. That's out towards exit 23. And we're following everything for you this morning on WCNC Plus. We'll see you there soon.
Thanks for streaming live on WCNC Plus at 7:30. I'm Lisa Washington.
And I'm Ben Thompson. First up, a look at your weather impact forecast. Chris standing by. A nice day today, maybe a little cloudy.
Yeah, but we'll take it, right? We have temperatures in the mid to the upper 60s, and at times you're going to see this. So I'm not calling it a complete overcast, guys. Some days are just gloomy. That's not today. Yes, it will be all in all a mostly cloudy to an overcast one, but some bright spots will be here or there, so that's good news. 50 degrees was the low around Rock Hill, 51 around Hickory, 54 we're living it right now here in Charlotte, and we did reach 55, and we've been fluctuating between 54 and 55 over the last 4 hours now. 47 for you in Boone. Gotta love those winds out of the southwest. Similar look over here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. A beautiful sunshine trying to peer through those clouds. And it's more of a mid to upper level cloud deck. And what that means is it's the lower cloud deck that really blocks a lot of the sunshine. So we're still going to get enough of the solar radiation to warm us up. And then also the winds out of the southwest. That's why we're reaching the upper 60s and, dare I say, 70 degrees, my friends. And the winds are the biggest story today, honestly, hands down. As this front is wedging in closer, we have the right environment that's going to pick winds up to at least 30 miles per hour for the maximum. And then we could see them even range as much as 30 to 35 here and there from place to place. So yeah, really a windy Wednesday overall. Do embrace the alliteration. Isolated rain shower for your Thursday. Nothing too tricky there. But then Friday, scattered rain in the morning. I think we take a break. And then it's more so Friday night heading to Saturday that we have a likely chance for rain. But I wanted to show you what Friday could sneak in. Check it out. Down towards the south, see this little guy right there? It's trending south, so it's not a guarantee that all of us are going to see it, but we could have some isolated bands of thunderstorms. So a quick little downpour. I think that's mainly before the sun rises up or shortly afterwards. And then we see that little bit of sunshine. Here's why I completely flipped the script as far as what our Friday is going to be and made it, hey, I think this could be a record-breaking one, is just because we have those stronger winds that are pushing out of the southwest. So even the Storm Prediction Center is agreeing with me. Yeah, you got a chance for general thunderstorms for your Friday. Nothing in the red or the yellow, meaning that we have no severe thunderstorm chances. Here's that near record high temperatures where it's not just near, we would be breaking a record if we hit 79 that I'm calling. Even if I lose 2 degrees off what we're looking at today, still 77 could be a record tying day for February 20th this coming Friday. But regardless, it's going to be warm. Now, coming up next, I'm going to talk a little bit more about the weekend rain. It's a little tricky here because I don't think everyone's going to see widespread rain. This is not the cure to drought that I'm going to have more from my weather IQ coming up in. But then 61 degrees on Saturday. I like what Ben called this. This is superficial spring. Well, winter is going to return, and then we have the 40s and freezing temperatures to start off next week. So let's enjoy superficial spring. I enjoy that. What about you, Majestic?
I'm looking forward to it, that's for sure. Hey, good morning, everyone. This is what I-77 is looking like this morning. Warm but cloudy start to the day. I-77 out near Westinghouse, just really spot on. Everything we would expect starting to get busy now that we are after 7:30 this morning. Still following this accident here, 485. If you take it, here's the problem. We have a crash right there. It's going to be the inner loop before I-77. It is backed up to South Boulevard. Next up, Gaston County, you do have delays building on I-85 northbound, which we always have this time of the day, but now we're adding a crash on top of it. The crash is right there towards McAdenville, exit 23. Ongoing concerns as we're looking up towards I-77, Samford Road. There is an additional crash there that will be southbound. It's going to be right between exits 25 and 28.
7:34 right now. This morning, new safety changes coming to Birkdale Village after viral videos from this weekend showed a massive group of teens taking over the street. You see there in between some of the cars. And now neighbors say they've had enough.
WCNC Charlotte's Destiny Richards is live this morning in Huntersville. And Destiny, these changes are going to be going into effect much earlier than initially planned.
Yeah, these safety measures were originally planned for the spring. Huntersville police said because of spring break, and that's when a lot of teens are typically out. But after this incident that happened Saturday night, Huntersville leaders say they needed to quickly move that up. So here are the new rules in place. Starting Friday, Birkdale Village will enforce a 6 p.m. curfew for anyone 17 and younger. 4 to 5 off-duty Huntersville police officers will be on site every Friday night with additional officers on Saturdays. These changes follow viral video from Saturday night showing hundreds of teens taking over the streets at Birkdale Village, running in front of cars and climbing on top of them, bringing traffic to a stop. Some neighbors who attended a town hall last night called the scene chaotic and not what they expect from a family-friendly area. Huntersville Police Chief Brian Vaughn says investigators are working to identify those in the videos, adding some teens came from surrounding counties and that the gathering appeared organized. He says officers will work with Birkdale management to enforce the new curfew, stepping in when asked to remove someone from the property.
They can call us and we'll go and help them ban or trespass the person from the property. That continues to take training and education. I believe that they're doing some training Friday this week with their security staff to kind of reiterate where the line is, where it's a private business and what they can enforce and what we can enforce.
And Huntersville police say despite how it looks in the video, there were no reported assaults on Saturday night, and the crowd quickly dispersed after being told to leave. Again, these rules go into place this Friday, and they'll be in place every weekend for the foreseeable future. Live in Huntersville, I'm Destiny Richards, WCNC Charlotte.
Destiny, thanks. The Mecklenburg County Board of Commissioners candidate speaking out after his house was shot into earlier this week. Aaron Marin, a Republican vying for District 1 seat, said on social media that shots were intentionally directed at his family's Huntersville home. He says it happened Monday while he was there with his wife and 2 sons. In the post, he says he is not going to be intimidated. We've reached out to Huntersville PD for more information. Right now, a man is in jail on a $150,000 bond after police say he broke into a woman's home in Statesville and attacked her. Investigators say 27-year-old Ahmed Aldabani forced his way inside Saturday night while the woman was asleep and assaulted her. She was able to escape, but he ran off before officers later tracked him down and arrested him. He's facing several charges, including breaking and entering and assault.
Protesters are asking officials to halt plans for multiple ICE detention centers across North Carolina. Dozens of demonstrators gathered in front of Geo Group's Charlotte office in Ballantyne. That company owns the facility in Winton, North Carolina, that ICE wants to convert into a detention center. Protesters made their message clear.
We're highly upset about it. We don't want it. We don't need it. You know, we have other things that this money could be used for, like, helping the homeless community, like helping our veterans.
There is still no sign when those plans might move forward with or without local support.
A new ruling allows more than 73,000 folks to cast a ballot in the upcoming primary, even though their voter registration is incomplete. Back in 2024, North Carolina Republicans sued. They claimed 250,000 voter records were missing driver's license or social security information. The GOP argued those ballots should be thrown out. Well, as of this past December, about 73,000 voters still lacked that necessary info. Now, a new settlement allows them to remain registered, but when they vote, they'll need to show ID to have their records updated. And if they don't, they'll cast what's called a provisional ballot. Former President Joe Biden is going to visit South Carolina later this month. The former president set to attend an event in Columbia, celebrating 6 years since he won the South Carolina primary, a win that launched him on the path to the White House. A reception set for February 27th.
Buffalo Wild Wings faced a lawsuit over the name of one of its most popular menu items. The ruling next.
7:41 right now. A popular chicken chain finally opening a restaurant here in the Charlotte area.
Raising Cane's will debut its Rock Hill location next Tuesday, February 24th. The restaurant will be located at 520 John Ross Parkway. The company confirmed last year that it planned to bring its signature chicken fingers and Cane's sauce to the region with hopes of expanding further into the Charlotte market. No word yet on whether that opening will include any special promos.
With St. Patty's Day less than a month away, McDonald's bringing back a fan favorite, the Shamrock Shake. If you've never had one, it's a minty flavored milkshake with vanilla ice cream and whipped cream. For the 6th year in a row, McDonald's will also be selling the Shamrock McFlurry, which is all that plus Oreos in it. Both items available for a limited time.
A federal judge has ruled that Buffalo Wild Wings can keep the name boneless wings on its menu, rejecting a lawsuit that claimed the term was misleading. The judge says the chain can continue using that name even though the product is essentially chicken nuggets. The lawsuit argued that customers were led to believe boneless wings were made from actual wing meat. But the plaintiff failed to provide enough evidence. With that ruling, the popular menu item will keep its long-standing name.
All right, a pizza place in Palm Beach, Florida, named Buck's Coal Fire Pizza, says it will no longer offer the viral iguana-topped pizza that put the restaurant on the map.
The unusual topping gained national attention during Florida's historic cold snap when falling iguanas inspired the owner to experiment with the dish. The restaurant stresses it never kept live iguanas on site. They were brought in, and they say they received more than 1,000 calls from curious customers on the unique topping.
My buddy hit me up and he was like, hey, how do you feel about me bringing in some iguana meat and making iguana pizza? And I said, absolutely. We've probably received about 1,500 calls for iguana pizza. It's highly sought after, apparently.
That topping turned out to be just as controversial as pineapple.
Perhaps a little more.
I think a bit more. I mean, I'm okay with pineapple on my pizza.
I hear it tastes like chicken. I don't. I don't know that.
All right. In Italy, it is not all about the pizza. A little-known buckwheat pasta dish is delighting Olympians and ski and snowboarding fans for the Winter Games.
Pizza curry is a regional dish from Italy. Despite its name sounding similar to pizza, the beloved dish is made with simple ingredients like vegetables, noodles, and a blend of cheeses. Locals there stress the importance of keeping traditional recipes alive.
It's really important for us to keep all the tradition, and in these dishes you find the cabbage that grow up wherever, also Livigno, the potatoes the same, the cheese are really good, and also in all the family, also a lot of years ago, they have a cow and they can make the cheese by themselves. So this is really important. The same for the butter.
I'm not sure exactly what she said,
but I'd try it.
It sounds good.
Right?
With the Olympics in town, the hearty dish, a favorite for both athletes and spectators coming in from the cold. Yum. Continuing coverage now of the Olympic Games this morning, set to be a packed day 12 at the Winter Olympics with some superstars joining the competition for Team USA.
Anne-Marie Tiernan is back with us. She is live in Milan. So, Anne-Marie, let's talk about Michaela Schifrin. We know that she's going to be competing in the women's slalom. That's the alpine skiing final event. So much pressure on her. I know she wants to get a medal.
Well, she certainly does, and she's on her way. So that competition's in Cortina, and it is 2 runs. The first run, she's in first place, and she's got a good margin. In the next hour, she's going to be taking that next run. So we should find out whether or not she's able to perform under the pressure, the Olympic pressure. She's shown that she can do that in the past. Can she continue that today? We have members on our team that have been following her career from Denver for a long, long time. And they said when Michaela goes out and she's in first place after the first run, it's a very high percentage that she is the champion of that event that day. So that's the momentum going into this. Really hoping that that's the case for her. She's 30 years old. This is her 4th Olympics. She competed in 2 events here in Milan already, getting 4th. That's a really tough position. And then 11th. So this is the slalom. This is her event. She is the Olympic champion. She has a gold from this event in 2014. So to get this at what potentially could be her last games really would be a full circle moment for her. And, you know, who doesn't want that for her?
Exactly. Well, let's talk about men's hockey. Later today, they're going to face off in the quarterfinals. What do we need to be looking for this matchup?
Well, so Sweden is coming into this match after playing yesterday. So they're going to be a little bit more tired. Yesterday, Team USA had the day off. So that's an advantage for Team USA. But also members on our team who have been following hockey for a long, long time say, it's just so unfortunate for Team USA that they got Sweden in the quarterfinals because they're really good. And this is a matchup you would expect to be in the semis or in the finals. But Team USA is going to have to get through Sweden if they want to have a chance at a medal round. It is win or go home. So do or die, knockout round, whatever it is, this is the moment for these two teams. Both of them have a roster that has 100% NHL players. Some of them even are normally on their own team and now they're rivals because they're with their different country, and there's all these backstories, all these storylines. It's really interesting and a lot of the world will be watching.
Hopefully this just prepares them for the semis and for the finals. If they, they had a day off, so maybe that also works to their advantage. All right, Anne-Marie, thanks so much. Great to speak with you as always.
Yep.
All right, keep it right here on WCNC Plus. We're back with a look at your weather impact forecast after the break.
Well, good day, everybody. Well, I'm happy to say that today is going to be a decent day as far as the warm-up goes. And right now we're looking at some cloudy skies, so you're not really going to be able to see too many of the planets and their surroundings. But I do have a special day in history. Today, on February 18th in 1930, a 24-year-old astronomer named Clyde Tombaugh actually discovered Pluto while working at the Lowell Observatory in Arizona. So happy birthday, Pluto, even though they stripped you of your planethood back in 2006. So happy Pluto Day, everybody. We have temperatures that are going to be in a really nice range. Overall, I like where we're going. Temperatures right now, we're at 51 degrees around Hickory, 50 degrees in Rock Hill, and then Charlotte, 54. That's where you're at right now. Today is going to be a pretty decent one, but I mentioned that I wanted to talk about the rain. Our rain chances aren't really here until I would say really Friday morning, even though you are going to see a slight isolated chance on Thursday. And I'll show you exactly what that looks like. So opening up our future cast, really the main event I think really starts on Friday morning. But as I mentioned, could see some rain showers, I think really north of I-40. If we're going to see anything heading into Thursday, it's mainly going to be a few sprinkles, seeing more consistent light rain showers north of I-40. And then watch, heading into your Thursday afternoon, things actually start to clear out. And then it's Friday morning, even though it looks like it's to be fairly isolated, and this right now is trending a little bit further south, I think that there will be some thunderstorms in North and or South Carolina. So we could have both, and then heading into the afternoon, things really start to warm up. So the big deal here is the storm impacts is that we could actually have a rumble of thunder start off the day. I'm not calling for severe storms, just one of those interesting things. Oh, wow, I'm hearing thunder. Is it spring? Well, it's going to feel like it because Friday, high temperatures could be close to 80 degrees. So there's round one of some of that rain. And then we have widespread showers that start to move in really for your Saturday morning, but watch. It's widespread really south of I-85, will be especially heavy, I think, over in Columbia. This is the one thing that can kind of take the rain away from us. We desperately need it at this point, especially from Cabarrus County over to Mecklenburg, considering what we just had for the most recent drought. But this is 7 a.m. I think the heaviest rain, if we're going to have anything, is really going to be about mid to late morning, and then it starts to push its way down towards the south. So the ascent game, that's at 2 o'clock. Boy, you going to be on the cusp. I think most of it pushes out. There's the slightest chance we have a little comeback of rain heading into your Sunday morning, and then we should be drying out. Our extended forecast shows the big cool down behind these systems, though. Highs either side of 50 degrees Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday, with multiple freezing mornings heading into next week. Let's see what's going on for our morning commute. Good morning, Majestic.
Good morning, everyone. It is busy out there, so let's get straight to it. 7:53 right now, multiple icons popping up, but I do want to take you straight out to I-85. That's where we do have a big backup. I-85 northbound lanes at Lowell McAdenville. That's going to be out towards exit 23. You can see I-85 is congested, but also Highway 74 is as well. Here's one of our live camera looks close to that ongoing problem. Again, this is out towards mile marker 23. So what we're watching for as we're heading northbound is this ongoing wreck that I've been following now for at least the last 30 to 45 minutes. That's the delay that I just showed you in that live camera look. The actual crash right here is at Sam Fur. That's exit 25, and we're seeing those delays all the way up towards Catawba Ave. That's exit 28 with stop and go traffic. So if you take I-77 and you're heading inbound up from Lake Norman heading towards Charlotte, make sure you have plenty of time to get to where you need to be. This is something new right here, a new crash at Harris Boulevard at Perimeter Parkway. Just seeing minor delays with that. And then once we're heading out towards Providence Road, there is a crash northbound lanes at Fairview Road.
Majestic, thanks. 7:54 now. Live look over uptown this morning. A cloudy day, but our temperatures are getting warmer. That's a good thing. We'll be right back with more streaming live here on WCNC Plus.
It's a cloudy start to your day, 55 degrees. It's also a warm start. And another word to describe today, windy. Already winds sustained at 13 miles per hour. You will notice that wind out of the southwest all day long. At times, it will get a little bright, just as we're seeing off here in the distance. But again, clouds are winning out. Winds out of the southwest, still getting enough strength to get us into the upper 60s to around 70 degrees. But it's a windy Wednesday, a cloudy one overall, and certainly warm, about 10 degrees above where we should be. Overnight tonight, temperatures don't fall much. We have the upper 50s, chance for a little fog and a few sprinkles. And then Friday morning even has a chance for a thunderstorm before eventually things are going to cool down by the back end of the weekend. Our next freezing mornings will actually be on Monday and Tuesday morning, as our high temperatures are eventually going to jump back into around that 80-degree point and then return to the 40s heading into next week. All right, that's it for weather. Let's see how your morning commute's faring.
Good morning, everyone. We are heading into our Wednesday morning commute. This is what I-77 looks like. If you're going to be coming in from South Carolina, you can see it is definitely going to be busy, but we aren't seeing any big problems for our friends in South Carolina. Meanwhile, if you take I-85 northbound, we have a crash right there at exit 23. That's just after Lowell McAdenville. We'll have more on WCNC Plus.
Streaming live right now at 8 a.m. here on WCNC Plus. I'm Ben Thompson.
And I'm Lisa Washington. We start things off this hour with a check of your forecast for this Wednesday. Chris is standing by.
Look at how things are shaking up here. Our Dallas camera, you can barely see the Queen City off in the distance. Now it's super zoomed in, so it's also magnifying some of these clouds as well, but it shows it's going to be a windy and a cloudy day. This shot alone shows everything you need to know. Now Hickory, we dropped down to 51 degrees this morning. You had 54 around the Charlotte area, so 1 degree above that. We're not going to see a quick warm up right away, but we will see a little bit of sunshine at times. You can see it right here. 68 degrees then to right around 70. But all in all, as I mentioned, the two words, it's going to be a cloudy day overall, and it's also going to be a windy Wednesday. Occasional gusts getting up to about 30 plus miles per hour. Let's talk about that. Already, we've had some wind gusts up to about 22 miles per hour, 31 around Greensboro. Winds blasting out of the southwest will still warm us up nicely, but this is actually called a strong wind gust. Whenever you have wind gusts that are anywhere from about 25 to 35 miles per hour, according to the Beaufort wind scale, that's where you can have large branches of motion or the tops of some of those pine trees are really swaying in the breeze. That's the way today is going to look. And I think today is the windiest day that we have over the next 3 to 4. But we also have to get used to this because it's windy today. It's breezy tomorrow with still some gusts getting up to about 20 to 25 miles per hour. And then on and off gusts as high as 30 heading into your Friday morning. And that could come with something else. I'll get to that. So our monthly averages, as far as our average wind speed goes, March and April are by far the windiest, but a fairly close second is February, especially the second half. Just this time of the season, we start to see a lot of differences in the pressure, and that allows for a much better chance for a windier environment. So just get used to it being pretty breezy over the next couple of months. Cloud cover especially thick today. Today is also the cloudiest day to embrace that superlative. And then heading into tomorrow, I think we see some sprinkles, maybe a little bit of fog, but I am seeing some signs of some clearing. So it's not all of this within what's called the warm sector that we're going to see widespread cloud cover. That's going to actually allow for some thunderstorms further off towards the west, and it's also going to allow for a big warm-up for us, especially for your Friday. Friday, I have moved our high temperature up to 79 degrees, so near 80 degrees, which, by the way, in Charlotte history, only 15 times we have hit 80 degrees during the month of February. So this could be 16. We'll see. But 77 is the record, so I think easily we're going to top that. Rainfall chances very, very light overall on Thursday, but then they become a little bit more scattered heading into your Friday. As I mentioned, I have a little bit of a tease for you, and I want to just quickly race to that. A couple of isolated rain showers is what we have in the near term, but heading into Friday morning, we actually have a chance for, see that right there? For a thunderstorm. So I'm going to put my weather bookmark right here. Coming up next time I'm talking to you, we'll complete this weather story, the rain into the weekend, as well as that 7-day forecast. But first, starting off the 8 o'clock hour, right in the peak of our morning commute, Majestic, what's going on?
8:03, let's get to it. A handful of ongoing problems. Still, this is a big backup for you if you take I-85 inbound. That's where we have been following this crash for over an hour now. You can see those delays that are really starting to build. Another thing that I want to let you know about, this is I-77, mile marker 23, out near Gilead. So if you're coming in from areas right around Lake Norman, you're heading up towards Charlotte. That's where we do have some slowdowns. You can see specifically from Cornelius to Huntersville, that's really my watch spot right now because of that ongoing crash. It's already a very congested area this time of the day, so of course not helpful when we do have that accident. Specifically, it's going to be exit 25, that's Samford Road, backed up to Catawba Ave, about 3 mile delay. Now, once we head just south, Harris Boulevard at Perimeter Parkway, we have an ongoing crash, but I do like to see mostly green around that, indicating that we don't have major delays with it. But then again, this is Providence Road. If you're heading northbound on Providence at Fairview Road, there is going to be a crash right there in the middle of the intersection. Ben.
Majestic, thanks. Starting in Rock Hill at this hour, where police are investigating a shooting on Frank Street. It happened around 9 o'clock last night. Police say there is no current threat to the public, but did not share any other details. We'll keep you posted as we learn more information. Right now, we're also working to learn more about a deadly crash in York County. It happened just before 6 last night along Reservation Road. Highway Patrol tells us a pickup truck hit a person who was walking in the road. No word yet on who the victim is or if any charges will be filed.
Approaching 8:05 now, in just a few hours, a Charlotte man accused of killing his girlfriend will once again face a judge. James Dunmore is charged with murdering Alicia Watts back in 2023. WCNC Charlotte's Richard Devane is live this morning in Charlotte, where Watts was last seen. So for Richard, for those who aren't familiar with this or may not remember this case, bring us up to speed.
Yeah, good morning to you, Lisa. Good morning, Ben. Good Wednesday morning, everybody. Alicia Watts was from Moore County and was dating James Dunmore, who lived in Charlotte at the time. She had come here in July of 2023. They were actually planning to go to this area to go to a comedy show. She never made it here. Now, today, James Dunmore is back scheduled in court today, nearly 2 years after his arrest in connection with the death of Miss Watts. Dunmore was charged with murder in 2023 after his girlfriend disappeared following that trip to Charlotte to visit him. Dunmore was later found unresponsive just 2 days after she was supposed to have visited him outside an Anson County DMV. Investigators say he appeared to be the victim of an apparent attempted suicide. Authorities later discovered Watts remained in a nearby cemetery in rural part of Montgomery County, which led to his arrest. Since then, Dunmore has remained in custody as the case has moved through several delays and pretrial hearings. Today's court appearance is expected to focus on procedural matters as prosecutors and defense continue to prepare for a possible trial. This is those who knew and loved Alicia wait for justice.
He gave like I've never seen anyone give back to the community, to the church, to her family. She was a giver at heart.
What she brought was unity, and I'm just grateful to have known her.
Justice is keeping Alicia's memory alive, so that other women who find themselves in relationships like the one that she was in that ultimately cost her life doesn't cost another life.
Yeah, again, James Dunmore is expected in court this afternoon at around 2:30. We'll be there and have complete details on what happens in this case on all of our platforms. Right now, we are right here in Charlotte. This is Richard Devane. Guys, we'll send it back to you.
Richard, thank you. A man accused of a 2020 Northwest Charlotte homicide will spend the rest of his life in prison. Tuesday, a jury found 33-year-old Antonio Rollins guilty of murder. Authorities say Rollins shot DeMarcus Mack, then carried him into a hospital and left him there. Mack died the following day. North Carolina Congresswoman Alma Adams is calling maternal health a national crisis, highlighting the high rates of preventable deaths among mothers, particularly Black women. For mothers like Lakeisha Stanley, pregnancy was a high risk and emotional journey. She explains why support and funding are crucial.
I don't want to have another child because I know I am a high risk pregnancy.
We still have a crisis. Black women are dying 3 and 4 times the rate of white women. That should not be.
Congresswoman Adams and fellow legislators are pushing the Momnibus bill. That's a package of bills that would fund community programs and healthcare providers who are working to improve maternal outcomes. It's a move advocates say could save countless lives.
Reflections continue to pour in after the death of Reverend Jesse Jackson. This is a video of people leaving flowers and tokens of appreciation at his home in Chicago. For decades, Jackson was a powerful voice for justice, working alongside Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. We heard from political leaders, including North Carolina Governor Josh Stein, about the impact the legendary civil rights leader had on him.
Like so many other Americans, he touched me, he inspired me, he motivated me to want to try to find my place and my way to make this a better country. I think America lost a great one, and may his memory be a blessing.
Plus, Charlotte City Councilman Malcolm Graham joined us here on WCNC Plus and discussed what the Reverend meant to him and the African American community.
He was personable, he was sharp, he was candid, he was an amazing speaker. He is history, right, for our country and certainly for the African American community. I'm going to miss my friend, my mentor, and someone who has an amazing impact on this country and this world.
Get unfiltered, deep dive conversations just like that one right here on WCNC Plus.
Before we head to break, here is an exclusive shopping deal for our viewers.
Hey everybody, here at ShopTVDeals.com, we love to bring you products out there that are actually going to make your life better. Let's keep it real. All of us have our entire lives on the phone these days. All those videos, all those photos, all of those memories, and you don't want to lose it because of a lost phone or a storage issue. So check this out. A small but mighty device, the Click Free Pro. It's so easy to use. Let me show you what to do. First, you download an app on the phone. Just takes a minute or two, super easy. Then you connect the device to your phone. It has all kinds of adapters here, so no matter what you have, you should be good. You open that app, and literally, with one touch, you start backing up all of those photos, which is a big help for people like me, because I got 15,000 photos in this thing. Also, not just about storage here. Think about all those old photos in your home, whether it's in an album like this, or just photos in a shoebox somewhere. There's a scan function on this app as well. So you literally can take one of those old pictures, use the app, Scan it and you'll never lose that image again. This does so much. It's absolutely amazing. No membership fees, no subscriptions, so it's super easy and will save you a lot of problems. And on top of that, 50% off. We have an amazing deal. Normally this would cost you $200. Today you get it for less than $100. So scan that QR code at the bottom of your screen or check us out online at shoptvdeals.com. Back up those photos now. Don't lose them.
Now you're streaming live on WCNC Plus. It's a problem that we often talk about: local animal shelters at capacity with no room to take in any more animals. February is National Spay and Neuter Month. It's a month dedicated to helping reduce animal overpopulation.
This morning, Dr. Julie Holyfield is joining us to talk about the importance of that mission. She's the medical director at Animal Care and Control. Doc, thanks for joining us. We appreciate it.
Good morning.
So I know this is not necessarily a new problem, but I guess in a growing city like Charlotte, it's becoming a more pressing problem. So remind us why it's so important to get pets spayed or neutered.
Well, for one thing, it's the most effective tool that we have to prevent animals from entering the shelter. One unaltered dog or cat could lead to, hundreds of animals over time. And it also helps the shelter to focus on the animals that really need our help, and to, prevent overcrowding and disease risk and the things that come along with working in a shelter, and help the families keep the pets in the homes and keep us with our resources on the animals that truly need our help and have nowhere else to go.
So you've explained that it helps the shelters, but there are also some health benefits for the pets who are spayed or neutered. Tell us about those.
Yeah, so female dogs can get mammary cancers, and they're prevented greatly reduced by spaying your dog even before the first heat, almost eliminated by that. They can get uterine infections called a pyometra that's common in older dogs. And it also helps prevent testicular cancers and prostate cancers in male dogs by having them neutered. But the other benefit is the behaviors that are driven by hormones, like wandering, fighting, getting hit by cars and things like that are things that animals do that when they're roaming and driven by those hormones. So that helps reduce that too. So it helps them stay at home and keeps them healthier.
All right, and this question is personal for me because I've talked about it several times here on air. This goes well beyond just your indoor pets. A lot of neighborhoods in Charlotte, mine included, have a large feral cat population. I have learned in the last few years how to handle it, thanks to your organization and other groups. You can capture these cats, take them to your facility or others, get them fixed. But spaying and neutering goes just beyond just your household pets, but also other pets that are in the neighborhood that might not necessarily have a home.
Yes, colonies, feral colonies are what we call community cat colonies now. They form colonies. It's like a family. They don't just wander all over the city. They form little families. And they found that, they tried different ways to get rid of them. Businesses didn't want them. And then somebody said, let's just spay them and neuter them and put them back and tip their ears so that everybody knows that they're done. And then they could identify new ones that weren't spayed and neutered. And it has probably been the biggest success story for spay neuter of any population. I mean, it's working for owned pets, but it has made a huge difference overall for the community cat population, keeping them healthier. And, you can't just take a community cat that lives at the Bojangles and take it down to Walmart and let it out. It will die trying to get back to its own family. So they form these really tight little groups, and it's been the most successful thing for them.
We know the importance of spaying and neutering. And Doc, before we let you go, of course, we're talking about the importance of that. But for families or people who are looking to get an animal, stress the importance of checking out the shelters in your neighborhood. We have a number of them in our community.
As far as getting spay and neuter services, or?
Well, getting the services, and also if you're looking to get a pet.
Oh, yes, definitely. We have a website, animalcareclt.org. We just changed it. Sorry, couldn't remember the name. Anyway, we have all of our animals up there, fostering, everything for us. And there's lots of low-cost spay neuter places around Charlotte and the surrounding areas. I know Gastonia has one, Cabarrus. We have one. We're focusing on free spay neuter right now, and you have to qualify. So there are some things there that you have to go through, an application and things. But HSC, Humane Society of Charlotte, Snipwell, lots of options for that. But we definitely have lots of animals, and we're coming up on kitten season. That'll be a good time to get into fostering and maybe come find a kitten of your own.
Wonderful.
I know. We're now on the lookout for kittens in the neighborhood to make sure.
Yeah.
Because we know it's happened in years prior. So fingers crossed. Listen, we know it's a pressing problem, and we know if you can adopt an animal or foster,
right.
as we just outlined, there are a number of ways that people can help out and help you out and that organization. All right, Dr. Julie Holyfield. Doc, thanks for coming on. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
You're most welcome. Thank you.
All right, we're going to take a quick break. We're back with more here on WCNC Plus.
Welcome back, everyone. So we know what our weather is like. It has been nice overall, but then it hasn't been the case over in Colorado. Check this out, this massive pileup that we had here. 4 people were actually officially declared dead and dozens were injured after a massive pileup. This is on Interstate 25 south of Pueblo, Colorado, and this is involving more than 30 vehicles. And this is because of wind gusts up to 60 miles per hour. It caused what's called a brownout conditions. Authorities, quote, said the visibility was next to nothing. So that literally was a dust storm. And this can often happen, especially when you have some sort of drought and they melt a lot of the snow away. So that dust was physically blowing everything all over the place, which sometimes can actually be worse than blowing snow and some of those whiteout conditions. So yeah, tragic scene over there. As for right now, they're just dealing with some typical snow up in the Rockies as they typically have for this time of the season. And meanwhile, for us closer to home, we're looking at our next chance of rain, which we desperately need. We've been talking about the drought status, and we'll have more on that coming up during the 8 o'clock hour. Yeah, the drought is officially at an extreme to severe. It just depends where you are. And those extreme values we have to kick down. Now, we haven't yet factored in all the rain that we had over the weekend. This is going to be a big time help because we had up and over an inch. Some areas actually saw over 2 inches. But what do you know? Yesterday I showed you a graphic that it's been raining only on 3 specific days in 2026. On a Friday, on a Saturday, and a Sunday. Well, our best chance for rain are now Friday and Saturday. I have an isolated chance here on Thursday, but it's not going to be all that much. So let's get right to it. Our rain chances are mainly going to be north of I-40 over the next, I would say, like next 24 to 36 hours. Few showers here and there, not too much. Could start off with a few sprinkles to begin your Thursday with a chance for some sunshine for the afternoon. Ooh. Once you get to your Friday morning, I think it's going to be an overcast start, but watch this. Dun-dun, dun-dun. You got a little bit of a quick action of a thunderstorm that could push through. I think most of us are going to avoid these, but there's a chance you could hear some distant rumbled thunder or a very heavy downpour, so that can't be overlooked. And once we get the sunshine for the afternoon, it's going to be winds blasting out of the southwest. And for the first time this year, I can show you this graphic, a general chance for thunderstorms. This isn't just me saying it. This is the Storm Prediction Center also giving us that chance as well. As for the best chance for widespread rain, it's going to be Friday night into Saturday, but I think it's mainly Saturday morning. And it looks like it's especially going to be heavy south of Charlotte. That lingers for your Saturday morning, clearing up for the afternoon with a slight chance for rain heading into your Sunday, I would say early morning to the middle of the morning. Once you get to Sunday into Monday, that's where the cold air physically is here. We have 51, back to the 40s, and then freezing starts Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday morning. Hopefully it's a decent start for your morning commute, but I know just the person to ask. Majestic.
Good morning, everyone. It's busy, that's for sure. It's been busy all morning long. 8:24 right now. Let's take it north. I-77 out by Lake Norman. That's where we do have a delay right between Cornelius and Huntersville. Right now it's very slow moving traffic because of this ongoing problem. The actual crash, it happened at exit 25, but we are seeing those delays all the way through Catawba Ave. That is exit 28, so that's about a 3-mile backup. This is already a heavily trafficked area, so as you are making that commute inbound, this is what it's going to be like. Again, slow moving if you're coming in from areas like Lake Norman.
All right, Majestic, thanks so much for that.
Today in Black History, back in 1965, was the day civil rights leader Malcolm X delivered what would become his final public speech at Barnard College in Manhattan. In that address, he spoke powerfully about human rights, global unity, and the ongoing fight for black equality. Just 3 days later, he was assassinated, ending the life of one of the most influential voices of the civil rights movement. Malcolm X's message of empowerment and self-determination continues to shape activism and social justice movements to this day. All right, 8:25 right now. Keep it right here on WCNC Plus as we take a live look right now over Lylesville.
Hello, hello. We have sunshine trying to fight its way through the cloud cover over here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. All in all, today is going to be a cloudier day. 55 is our temperature right now. That is 14 degrees warmer than just 24 hours ago. And clouds pretty much throughout. At times it might be mostly cloudy, as you're just seeing there. And the temperatures eventually reaching the upper 60s. A little bit of sunshine tomorrow afternoon. Warmer. Temperatures in the lower 70s. And what is this? Right around 80 degrees. A record-breaking day set for Friday with a chance for even a morning thunderstorm. Been a while since I've showed this graphic. For a Jerry Hunt Supercenter 7-day forecast, after that, the cold wind blows in. Chance for rain on Saturday morning, then the 50s to the 40s Monday and Tuesday. We're even starting below freezing. All right, Majestic, what's going on this morning?
All right, we're heading into our Wednesday morning. Lots going on as you're heading out the door. This is what we have on my map right here. Lots of ongoing problems. Let's take you to 485. That's where we are following a crash. I've been looking at this for over the last 30 minutes. I-485, it's going to be the inner loop right before I-77, and it is backed up to South Boulevard. Then we head up to I-77 out by Lake Norman, and we have an additional crash right here. It's on Sanford Road. I'll have more on WCNC Plus.
Following breaking news right now on WCNC Plus, in just the last 15 minutes, we've learned a 4-year-old child is dead after being caught in a crossfire outside a Rock Hill home. Police say 2 men, ages 19 and 34, got into a fight last night on Frank Street and began exchanging shots inside the home.
Now that gunfire continued as they moved outside. The child was struck during that shooting and later died. The 19-year-old also died from his injuries. The surviving suspect, 34-year-old Cedric Akeem Creighton, is charged with 2 counts of murder and weapons offenses.
He remains hospitalized. We'll continue to follow the story throughout the day and keep you posted right here on WCNC Plus. In the meantime, this morning, new safety changes coming to Birkdale Village after viral videos from this weekend show this massive group of teens taking over that street. And as you can imagine, neighbors say they've had enough.
WCNC Charlotte's Destiny Richards is live this morning in Huntersville. And Destiny, these changes are going into effect much earlier than initially planned.
Yeah, these new safety measures were originally planned for the spring when teenagers are out of school on spring break, but After this incident that happened on Saturday, Huntersville leaders decided to put them into place as quickly as possible. Here's a look at what is changing at Birkdale Village. Starting Friday, they're enforcing a 6 p.m. curfew for anyone 17 and younger. 4 to 5 off-duty Huntersville police officers will also be on site every Friday night, with additional officers on Saturdays. Now, the changes follow viral video from Saturday night showing hundreds of teens taking over the streets at Birkdale Village, running in front of cars and climbing on top of them, bringing traffic to a stop. Some neighbors who attended a town hall last night called the scene chaotic and not what they expect from a family-friendly area. Huntersville Police Chief Brian Vaughn says investigators are working to identify those in the videos, adding some teens came from surrounding counties and that the gathering appeared organized. He says officers will work with Birkdale management to enforce the new curfew, stepping in when asked to remove someone from the property.
They can call us and we'll go and help them ban or trespass the person from the property. That continues to take training and education. I believe that they're doing some training Friday this week with their security staff to kind of reiterate where the line is, where it's a private business and what they can enforce and what we can enforce.
Yeah, so this does go into effect Friday, and it looks like enforcement will center around if minors are unaccompanied or causing a disturbance like what happened on Saturday. But despite how it looks in the video, Huntersville police say there were no reported assaults and the crowd quickly dispersed when asked to leave. Again, this Friday, this weekend is when these rules go into place, both the curfew as well as the additional police officers, and this will be in place for the foreseeable future. Live in Huntersville, I'm Bessie Richards, WCNC Charlotte.
A Mecklenburg County Board of Commissioners candidate is speaking out after his house was shot into earlier this week. Aaron Marin, a Republican vying for District 1 seat, said in a social media post that shots were intentionally directed at his family's Huntersville home. He says it happened Monday while he was there with his wife and 2 sons. In that post, he says he will not be intimidated. We've reached out to Huntersville PD for more information. Right now, a man is in jail on a $150,000 bond after police say he broke into a woman's home in Statesville and then attacked her. Investigators say 27-year-old Ahmad Aldabani forced his way inside Saturday night while the woman was asleep and assaulted her. They say she was able to escape and he ran off before officers later tracked him down and arrested him. He's now facing several charges, including breaking and entering and assault.
8:34 now, protesters are asking officials to halt plans for multiple ICE detention centers across North Carolina. Dozens of demonstrators gathered in front of GEO Group's Charlotte office in Ballantyne. The company owns the facility in Winton, North Carolina, that's in the eastern part of the state, that ICE wants to convert into a detention center. Protesters made their message clear.
We're highly upset about it. We don't want it. We don't need it. You know, we have other things that this money could be used for, like, helping the homeless community, like helping our veterans.
Still no sign when those plans might move forward with or without local support.
A new ruling allows more than 73,000 folks to cast a ballot in the upcoming primary, even though their voter registration is incomplete. Back in 2024, North Carolina Republicans sued. They claimed 250,000 voter records were missing driver's license or Social Security information. The GOP argued those ballots should be thrown out. As of this past December, about 73,000 voters still lack that info. Now, a new settlement allows them to remain registered, but when they vote, they'll need to show ID to have their records updated. And if they don't, they'll cast what's called a provisional ballot. Former President Joe Biden is going to visit South Carolina later this month. The former president set to attend an event in Columbia celebrating 6 years since he won the South Carolina primary, a win that then launched him on the path to the White House. The reception set for February 27th.
Today, you have a chance to weigh in on future transit fares in Charlotte. The CATS Fare Study meeting is scheduled from 5 to 7 this evening at the Valerie C. Woodard Center. You can also join online. Officials are exploring updates to ride prices, discounts, and payment options in hopes of making transit easier for everyone. Today, the city of Monroe will host its first downtown master plan public workshop. Residents, business owners, and community members will get a chance to see that plan, ask questions, and share ideas that will help guide the future of their downtown experience. It kicks off this afternoon at 4 o'clock at the Dowd Theater.
This morning, health officials urging parents to get your kids vaccinated as measles cases rise across the state. North Carolina has reported 22 cases over the last 2 months. The state health department says most of those cases are in unvaccinated kids. Several local counties being closely watched, including Mecklenburg and Union. 8:36 right now. Turning back right now to your weather impact forecast. Cloudy out there, but temps won't be too bad.
Not too bad. The winds out of the southwest are your best friend. Whenever you're saying, hey, southwesterly wind, you're like, oh, it might be warmer today. But this camera shows everything. The shaking wire, the clouds blowing past us. 50 degrees was your low right around Rock Hill. But this is a delightful start. 55, all right. And I'm letting you know that there's going to be days that aren't even going to be this warm. So enjoy the warmer mornings while we have it, and certainly some of the warmer highs. Your afternoon to evening forecast, we're going to reach 68 degrees. At times you might see a little bit of brightness here and there. We should be about 57, so this is always a nice treat, right? And then those winds are gusting up to about 20 to 30 miles per hour, even higher than that. Wouldn't be surprised if we pop up to about 35 plus for a couple of those isolated max gusts during the afternoon. And then by the evening, things start to simmer down. But overall, I think the wind chimes are going to be very active over the next 3 days or so. That's where it looks like it's going to be the busiest and the breeziest. And we're also dealing with the most cloud cover in the near term as well, because this front is slowly but surely trying to get a little bit closer to us. This is actually called the warm sector, right under the umbrella of a warm front. That's why we're going to be so warm, especially heading into your Friday. That's why Fridays already has its sights on a record. The record set back in, back in 2014 for February 20th, 77 degrees, 79 degrees. And this is also going to be a record warm start because I have lows in the lower 60s. So this is one that we all can get excited about. As far as our rain chances are concerned, we have scattered likelihood that we're going to see it on Friday morning, but then more so heading into your Saturday morning. This does not look to be a severe weather event, just a general chance for thunderstorms. That's right, a chance for thunderstorms. A little bit of rain further off towards the north of here of I-40. And then once you get to about Thursday morning, I think that we could have a couple of passing showers. Mainly, I think it's going to be of a sprinkle variety, so not much measurable rain associated with this. We want to do that on Friday because that's what we've been doing, Fridays and Saturdays. Here's Friday morning. Check this out. We have signs that this could be a band of thunderstorms. So that would be a quick little downpour, heavy downpours, rumbles of thunder, and even some gusty winds, where I think it's going to be breezy regardless, with gusts up to about 25 to 30 miles per hour. And then, boy, our temperatures zooming and soaring after that. Here is your 7-day forecast brought to you by the Jerry Hunt Super Center. What goes up must come down, and boy, do we see it behind that cold front, down through the 50s, through the 40s, with back-to-back mornings below that freezing point. But no worries, my friends. Temperatures will come back after that. We should end next week in the 60s. All right, Majestic, how's it rolling?
Good morning, everyone. Still definitely busy if you're heading out the door. Let's get some updates on what's going on at this point. Just after 8:30 this morning, still following this. It looks like it's on I-77, but it's not. It's I-485. It's going to be the inner loop right before I-77. So right around exit 65. Watch for that. Once we're heading north, still this ongoing crash out by Lake Norman, really between Cornelius and Huntersville. We have definitely slow-moving conditions, which we always have. So once we add a crash on top of it, you better believe it's going to be even more of a slow roll as you head towards Charlotte. And then as we hop on down to the south again, this is something that's new. This is going to be I-77 southbound right before Clanton Road. It is backed up to exit 10B. You can see all of that red here. Again, I-77 southbound, so we're not talking about inbound lanes. Here's a live camera look of that slow-moving traffic. The same exact area right there. So this is mile marker 7 near Clanton. Again, very slow moving. I do like to see that the lanes are at least moving. It's not completely blocked off or anything like that, but make sure you have plenty of time to get to where you need to be as you're heading out the door on this Wednesday. Guys.
8:40 right now on WCNC Plus. Up next, we continue to remember South Carolina native and civil rights activist Jesse Jackson and his long-lasting impact. 8:43 right now on WCNC Plus. This morning, the search continues for Today's Show host Savannah Guthrie's mom, Nancy.
After weeks with no sign of Nancy Guthrie, the FBI has turned to questioning local gun shops about recent visits. Gun shop owner Philip Martin says an agent showed up at his door asking for help and handed him a packet of nearly 24 photos and names. Investigators wanted to know whether any of the men had purchased a gun from his store in the past year.
He said he was an FBI agent and he was looking for some help getting some information on some names of a list that he had. I went through all 3 papers, typed in the last names, and nothing showed up.
Martin says none of the faces look familiar, but many resemble the man seen in surveillance video outside Guthrie's home. For now, he says he's hoping any lead, no matter how small, helps bring her home safely.
We're learning more about the shooting at a youth hockey game in Rhode Island Monday night. Police say the attack was targeted, with the shooter killing his ex-wife and adult son and critically injuring 3 other family members before taking his own life. Investigators have identified the gunman as 56-year-old Robert Dorgan. Several bystanders rushed in and managed to stop the attack as players and fans scrambled for safety. The motive behind the shooting has not been determined. Inside the Orleans Center Arena last night in Las Vegas, every cheer and every stunt carried extra meaning as teams honored 11-year-old cheerleader Addie Smith. Police say Addie was shot and killed by her mother, Tanya McGeehan, in an apparent murder-suicide at the Rio Hotel in Vegas over the weekend, a tragedy that has shaken the cheer community. Families who traveled in for the competition say the loss was felt throughout the arena.
She unfortunately didn't get the chance to be here this weekend and compete this weekend, so we cheer extra hard for her.
Everyone kind of rallies around each other when something like this happens, and I'm just praying for everyone involved.
The pair had been reported missing before police later found the bodies. A note inside the hotel room. Addie's cheer team posted a statement saying they're completely heartbroken and that she'll always be a part of their family.
We remember an icon of the civil rights movement. Jesse Jackson has died at the age of 84. He was influential as an activist, a Baptist minister, and he ran a historic presidential campaign twice. NBC's Tom Yamas has more.
For nearly 6 decades, Jesse Jackson lived on the front lines of the civil rights movement, relentless in his fight and armed with that booming voice. When he ran for president, his Secret Service code name was Thunder.
Keep hope alive.
The Baptist minister was born in Greenville, South Carolina, as a young man working closely with Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Jackson's life changing just 3 years later when an assassin shot and killed Dr. King in Memphis.
When we turned, all we could see was police coming. Police were coming from the direction of the shot.
Jackson and other activists kept the civil rights movement alive.
I may be poor, but I am somebody.
As his influence grew, Jackson would launch a presidential bid in 1984.
Our flag is red, white, and blue, but our nation is rainbow. Red, yellow, brown, black, and white, we're all precious in God's sight.
But the campaign was derailed when he admitted using an anti-Semitic slur in a private conversation.
However innocent and unintended, it was insensitive and wrong.
Jackson came very close to the nomination with another presidential run in 1988, cementing a leading role in the party.
We must find common ground as a basis for survival and development and change and growth.
20 years later, an emotional Jackson witnessed America elect its first black president, Barack Obama. Today, Barack and Michelle Obama calling him a true giant, saying Reverend Jackson also created opportunities for generations of African Americans and inspired countless more, including us, adding, "We stood on his shoulders." The activist, also a father and a husband whose lifetime of service shifted generations.
Use love to motivate you and obligate you to serve the human family. Young America, dream!
And we are looking at a bad drought situation across the area. Check it out. We have an extreme to severe drought depending where you are. Coming up, we're going to help raise your weather IQ. What exactly this means, the short term, the long term effects of this drought, and what we need to do to fix it.
Hi, this is Roy Sprinkle. It's Wednesday, time for today's Tiny Town. That tiny town just happens to be Bolivia, North Carolina. That's right, southeastern North Carolina, not too far from Wilmington, Carolina Beach, and all those areas. Bolivia, North Carolina, named after the country Bolivia in South Carolina. Kind of interesting. Bolivia, North Carolina is 210 miles from Charlotte and approximately 6,200 miles from Bolivia in South America. Now, the facts are, it's in Brunswick County, population 149, about 0.6 of a square mile in area, so very tiny. Established back in 1892, Bolivia, named after the country Bolivia in South America. Also, Bolivia, North Carolina is near the Green Swamp, famous for the Venus flytrap and the longleaf pine. Bolivia, North Carolina, that's today's Tiny Town. I'm Larry Sprinkle.
All right, Larry, thanks so much. We'll take a look at this. This is the newest drought monitor for our area. So take a look at the colors there. The red area, that's the Charlotte area, which is now in an extreme drought, something we haven't seen since 2008.
Chris is here to break down what severe and extreme drought mean for us in this week's Weather IQ.
We're not just talking about dry lawns anymore. Whenever your drought monitor reaches a severe or an extreme status, much where a lot of the Carolinas are at, it's no longer just an inconvenience. Let's raise your weather IQ. A severe drought typically means widespread crop losses and water conservation measures are beginning. Swimming areas and boat ramps may close as the water levels drop. But in the winter months where we're at right now, the bigger concern shifts towards our trees and landscapes. Already stressed from the lack of rainfall, weakened root systems make them far more susceptible to wind damage heading into severe weather season. At extreme drought, things quickly intensify. Water restrictions shift from voluntary to mandatory. Stream levels fall critically low and aquatic life can begin to die. And wildfire risk, even in winter, remains a serious concern on dry and windy days. And remember, our windiest months are March and April. Long-term, weakened root systems become vulnerable to disease and insect infestation. Damage can persist long after the rain returns. Groundwater and municipal water supplies don't bounce back the moment it rains, and farmers will feel the effects heading into the early growing season. Winter is actually our best chance of recovering because we don't have a lot of fresh things growing that are soaking up all that water. A slow soaking rain does far more good than a heavy downpour that runs off. Slow and steady is what lessens the drought. So thanks for raising your weather IQ with me. I'm meteorologist Chris Mulcahy.
All right, let's get you going. If you are heading out the door anytime soon, we are looking at I-77 just before 9 o'clock this morning in York County, where conditions, they're looking all right. Not seeing anything too majorly concerning, but once we bring it back home a little closer to the Queen City, do want to let you know that crash that I've been following on I-485 right before I-77, that just cleared, so we're starting to make some improvements there. And then the one there on I-77 up by Lake Norman also looks great. We're clearing things out towards Clanton. That was a watch spot, but that accident just got cleared. So those are 3 back-to-back accidents that are now gone. As we're looking here, though, it's still ongoing. This is Hawthorne Lane at Elizabeth Ave, where we do have a bit of a delay because of that ongoing wreck. That'll be something that you can watch for if you are heading out the door anytime soon. And then this here is a newer wreck as well. It's on Ardrey Kell Road, east at Ray Road. Guys.
All right, Majestic, thank you. Live pictures right now over Lylesville, right now in Anson County. Keep it right here on WCNC Plus. Live Impact News coming up at the top of the hour.
Not the prettiest looking shot here, but 57 degrees is pretty warm to start off the day, and high temperatures reaching the upper 60s. Seeing a little hint of sunshine here and there, but all in all, clouds are winning out. Upper 60s, though, still with a strong wind out of the southwest. Plain and simple, it's a cloudier day, but it's also a windy Wednesday. Strong gusts up to about 25 to 30 plus possible on and off through the afternoon. That just means large branches in motion throughout the day. Jerry Hunt Supercenter 7-day forecast. Highs around 80 degrees. That looks to be a record-breaking Friday. Also could be a record warm start with a chance for thunderstorms. Rain jogs Friday night heading into Saturday morning, and then we see those temperatures tumble only in the 50s on Sunday, the 40s and freezing temperatures to start next week. All right, Majestic, one last look at traffic.
Let's do it. Good morning, everyone. This is what those roads are looking like this morning. Not seeing anything significantly slowing you down, but we have had a pretty busy morning with multiple minor ongoing problems. This one right here is still not clear, and it's going to be out there on Mallard Creek Road and Medical Plaza Drive. We'll continue to follow that one, but it is minor at this point. Still very slow moving traffic from I-85 to I-77, the off-ramp specifically, that's exit 38, and then additional crash just south of Uptown.